Yo, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another Sonic What If video. In today's Sonic What If video, we'll be doing part 1 of What If Shadow the Hedgehog was in Sonic Movie 2. Specifically, what if Shadow was in throughout the entire movie rather than just post-credit scene. And also, before we go ahead and get to this as well, I want to give a huge shout out to my fan Payton Anderson as well for suggesting me this. He's suggested me this for a while now. It just took me a while to do it, but we're finally here doing it. So huge shout out to you, man. Thanks for the suggestion. And also, before we go ahead and get to this, make sure you guys go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what you guys think would happen if Shadow was in the entirety of Sonic Movie 2 and how things would change. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into this What If. Everything in Sonic Movie 2 plays out the same all the way up until both Dr. Eggman and Knuckles meet up with Agent Stone. Agent Stone, while talking with Dr. Eggman, ended up bringing something up to Eggman. Eggman ended up asking Stone, "What is it?" Agent Stone ended up bringing up a file that he managed to find recently, specifically a journal from his grandfather, Dr. J. Robotnik. This immediately catches Eggman's attention. As a child, he always looked up to his grandfather, so he immediately pushes Stone out of the way and begins trying to figure out what it is. And upon Eggman reading the diary, he is amazed, specifically about his supposed grandfather's greatest invention. Eggman stares at the diary in awe. Knuckles ended up asking, "What's so important about this?" "Let's just say my grandfather might have made one of the most powerful beings, and we could use it to defeat the hedgehog and the fox." "Really now?" "Yes, but we need to retrieve him. It looks like he's sealed away on Prison Island. We need to head over there." "Stone." "Yes, Doctor." "Bring me my Eggmobile. I'm going to have to make some adjustments to it." "Yes, Doctor." And thus, Stone would bringing Eggman his Eggmobile, and thus Eggman would go ahead and begin to make some adjustments to it, and he would make a vehicle similar to the main game timeline Dr. Eggman, which he had in Sonic Adventure 2. He makes something similar to that. Thus, Eggman, now fully prepared, heads over to Prison Island alongside Knuckles. Now, at this point in time, if you're wondering, this will slightly delay Eggman from going after Sonic and Tails. However, it will be worth it. At least that's how Eggman sees it. From there, Eggman and Knuckles invade Prison Island, begin to go ahead and shoot down the doors, Knuckles punching them through. And after a while, managed to get to the gates. They managed to go ahead and get access to the prison, specifically the place where his grandfather's greatest invention is. And thus, he managed to do a little bit of hacking, plus a little bit of help of Knuckles using his energy. As keep this in mind, Eggman wouldn't have access to Chaos Emeralds yet, due to the fact that in the movie timeline, at this point in time, they're still on the side of the Master Emeralds. So Eggman would have to come up with something else, that being Knuckles helping him out. And thus, the chamber would end up opening, and out comes Shadow the Hedgehog. Both Eggman and Knuckles stare in awe as Shadow the Hedgehog reveals himself. Now, initially, Eggman ends up thinking, "What? The blue pest followed us here?" However, upon a second look, both him and Knuckles quickly realized that this is not Sonic the Hedgehog, as he has black fur with some red on his spikes. Alongside this as well, he has white chest hair, and he looks at them with him saying, "Thank you for releasing me. I'm Shadow the Hedgehog, and since you were so kind to release me, I will grant you one wish, my master." "So this is my grandfather's greatest creation." Eggman stares in awe. Shadow quickly realizes who he is. "Ah, you must be Ivo. Your grandfather always spoke so highly of you." "Did he now?" "Yes, he said you had great potential," with Shadow hiding his smirk from Eggman. Eggman was saying, "Oh, well, thank you very much. And who is this Echidna?" "My name is Knuckles." "Really, Knuckles? Well, why have you released me?" "Well, we need some help with the blue." However, before Eggman could finish, guns will just come in, with him saying, "Commander Tower, the prisoner's gone now." "Very well, you know what to do. Fire." Eggman ended up laughing, saying, "Perhaps you can show us a demonstration, ultimate life form." "Very well then. Chaos Control!" And the Shadow would end up using the Chaos Control, and thus now the time is frozen. Shadow will go ahead and easily defeat all the gun soldiers. And if you're wondering, yes, considering the fact that the Emeralds are in the Master at this point, Shadow will not be able to use Chaos Control with a Chaos Emerald. However, as shown in Sonic Forces, it is possible for Shadow to use Chaos Control without a Chaos Emerald, so we will be using something like that here. If anything, I just have the Chaos Emeralds make Chaos Control stronger. And the Shadow will manage to go ahead and get out of there alongside Eggman and Knuckles. Eggman's delighted to now have his grandfather's greatest invention by his side. However, Shadow has his own evil ambitions. He ended up asking him, "Do you know where the Chaos Emeralds are?" "The what?" "The Chaos Emeralds." No. Are you talking about the Master Emerald? Ah, I see. Shadow will go into detail on how Turtle Bogdan discovered the 7 Chaos Emeralds from ancient lore and scripts. Alongside this, he ended up finding out as well how the Chaos Emeralds were in fact entrapped inside the Master Emerald. Needless to say, Knuckles and Eggman are amazed. Shadow also begins to go into detail as well, essentially what the 7 Chaos Emeralds are capable of doing. Eggman smiles at him saying, well, perhaps I should get those emeralds rather than just the big one. Shadow explaining as well how, once we get them, the emeralds will separate, however. And once you find one, we need to meet up on the Space Colony Ark. Why there, specifically? You'll find out soon enough. But first, you mentioned you have a rodent problem to deal with. Yes. Can you handle it, Shadow? Those Sonic and Tails mean nothing to me, and they cannot do a thing. Big talk. Can you back it up? Yes. Yes, I can. And that's because there's Eggman, Knuckles, and Shadow then off to Siberia. From there, at this point in time, Sonic and Tails managed to get the compass, but because Eggman got Shadow, they're a bit delayed. And thus, at this point, Sonic and Tails prepare to leave. However, that's when Knuckles, Eggman, and Shadow make their presence known. Eggman fires missiles at them, forcing both Sonic and Tails to dodge, as Sonic stares back and sees Eggman. He replies annoyingly, ugh, Eggman, again? When are you ever going to give up? However, Eggman ends up laughing, saying, you should know by now, that's not my style. Knuckles ends up dropping down with him, saying, hand over the compass, Hedgehog. Really now, and why should I? I suggest you do, or else it will not end well for you. And Shadow makes his presence known. Sonic would up scoffing, saying, who are you, fake Hedgehog? Shadow would also end up scoffing back as well, saying, you want to talk as well, fake Hedgehog. Sonic would up saying, really, Faker? And then Sonic would attempt to spin dash, however, Shadow easily teleports out of the way, shocking Sonic. And I'm saying, I'm very honored to meet you at last, Sonic. The doctor has told me all about you. Sonic attempts another spin dash, however, Shadow easily dodges the attack with him, saying, come on, Sonic, you're better than that, aren't you? Sonic begins to get annoyed and attempts another spin dash, however, Shadow teleports away and allows Knuckles to punch Sonic in the face and then flying back. And Shadow ends up scoffing and saying, and I thought you'd be better, Sonic. You really have disappointed me. Sonic, however, do a quick spin dash, catching Shadow off guard, and then Shadow ends up getting back up and saying, perhaps not. And the Shadow would then perform a Chaos Spear, catching Sonic off guard. Alongside this is where Shadow would teleport behind Sonic when a roundhouse kick him in the face. While that's happening as well, Tails would attempt to help Sonic, however, Eggman would keep him occupied as well, with him shooting missiles at Tails. Tails would manage to go ahead and dodge all the attacks as well, as Badniks begin to surround them as well. Knuckles and Shadow team up to take on Sonic. Sonic tries he might, knows he can't take on both Shadow and Knuckles. As we're already seen of Knuckles and Shadow, they're quite powerful. The Sonic realizes he needs to find a weaker link, that being Knuckles. And then Sonic begins to lure Shadow away from Knuckles. This way he can go ahead and deal with Knuckles on his own. However, Shadow and Knuckles quickly realize what he's doing, and the Shadow quickly uses Chaos Control. And this time freezes, catching Sonic off guard as Shadow appears behind him and ends up Chaos blasting him, sending Sonic flying back into a wall, knocked out. However, quickly gets back up. However, Shadow uses this opportunity to take the compass from Sonic. You know what I'm saying? My, you really are pathetic. Sonic attempts to spin dash, however, Shadow dodges the attack and punches Sonic in the face, sending Sonic flying back, catching Sonic off guard. Blue Lightning then goes up from Sonic's body with him saying, I'll show you who's boss, Faker. And the Sonic attempts to spin dash, however, Lightning crawls up Shadow as well, and he easily dodges the attack without Chaos Blasting or Chaos Spear. Alongside this, Shadow then used Chaos Control, and within a round has kicking Sonic and then punch him down to the ground. Sonic lasers on the ground and attempts to get back up, only for Knuckles to come from behind him and punch him in the face, nearly sending him flying off the mountain. Eggman at this point in time is also beginning to overwhelm Tails and does manage to knock out Tails with the help of Shadow after he Chaos Blast Tails, throwing Tails down to the ground, knocked out. Eggman smiles and laughs evilly with him saying, my, things really are coming well today, aren't they? Shadow would teleport by the Eggmobile, and Knuckles would jump on it. And that's because this Shadow will quickly go ahead and use the ring portal and open it. Thus, the three of them would end up escaping to Hawaii. While that's happening as well, Sonic quickly called Tom, and he and Tails managed to get to Hawaii as well. However, this time, when the gun commander is there, Sonic is saying as well, saying that, you don't know what you're doing. There's Eggman's back, and he has a kid on him named Knuckles, and his dark hedgehog named Shadow. However, as soon as that mentioned, the gun commander stops, and he ends up telling them, set him down. I'm turning to Sonic as well, saying, did you just say he's working with the black hedgehog named Shadow? Yes, he is. And he's able to slow down time. He has this thing called Chaos Sphere and Chaos Blast. The gun commander is in there shocked. He's just saying, so that's who broke into Prison Island that last night. Crap. The gun commander went up turning to them saying, release the two of them. And thus, Sonic and Tails would be let out. Sonic would be asking, why'd you just release us? Because Shadow the Hedgehog is a very dangerous being. How do you know that? Because I've seen who created him. Well, what's your name? Abraham Tower. From there, Shadow, Knuckles, and Eggman arrive where the Master Emerald sits at. Eggman goes ahead and reveals the temple, and the Shadow tells the two of them to hang on. And this manages to go through the temple as Shadow uses Chaos Control, allowing the three of them to go ahead and easily get through the temple. At the same time as well, Commander Tower is reevaluating the situation, how Shadow's now working with Eggman. He knows Eggman as alone is a big threat, but supposed to having this powered up Echidna and Shadow, he knows it's dangerous, especially since he saw how both Jared Robotnik and the Black Arms ended up negotiating to create Shadow. He knows how much of a threat Shadow is, and he knows that if Shadow has the option to get the Chaos Emeralds, he will go. And thus, Commander Tower puts out some agent scripture, explaining how the 7 Chaos Emeralds are inside the Master Emerald, with him explaining to Sonic and Tails alongside Tom and Maddie the Chaos Emeralds inside the Master Emerald. And Shadow the Hedgehog was created by a professor named Jared Robotnik, Dr. Eggman's grandfather. From what I gathered, Shadow the Hedgehog intends to gather all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds and fire them down to Earth, essentially getting revenge. He's a big threat, and those emeralds are inside the Master Emerald, which means if he breaks it, he gets all 7 of the emeralds. They might scatter, but Shadow will stop at nothing in order to get them. You know a lot about him. Yeah. As I was best friends with Gerald's granddaughter, Eggman's cousin. Oh, what happened to her? Look, I don't want to go into detail, but the point of the matter is, you have to stop him. Normally I wouldn't do this, but as I know how much of a threat Shadow is, I will allow you two to go and stop him. You bet. And the Sonic and Tails quickly head off to where Shadow, Knuckles, and Eggman are at. And at this point in time, they arrive at the Master Emerald altar. At this point in time, Knuckles is about to get betrayed by both Eggman and Shadow due to the fact that the two of them are still just using him. Plus, Eggman doesn't want to let go of his grandfather's greatest creation, and he's seen how powerful Shadow is. He's not about to let that go. However, before he could betray him, Sonic and Tails quickly arrive, pissing the three of them off. Knuckles gets ready to punch him. However, Sonic quickly spin dashes into Knuckles and causing Rubber to fall on Knuckles, knocking him out. Thus, there being a 2-on-1 fight, 2-on-2 fight with Eggman, Tails, and Sonic and Shadow. Eggman quickly pulls out his mech as well. However, Tails reveals his own mech that he ended up making from the tornado, similar to the one he had in Sonic Adventure 2. Alongside this as well, Sonic and Shadow begin to go at each other, spin dashing, homing, attacking, and flying around the arena. What's happening as well, Tails and Eggman are shooting at each other as well. Eggman ends up laughing and saying, My, Fox Boy, not a bad move. And this is because the two of them fire at each other. What's happening as well, Sonic and Shadow spin dash into each other and fall back. Sonic is saying, Stand down, faker. However, Shadow is scoffing, saying, Really, I think you're the faker around here. You're not even good enough to be my faker. And the Shadow would Chaos Blast Sonic, sitting and flying back. Alongside the Shadow would use Chaos Control, freezing time, throw Chaos Spears at Sonic, then followed by kicking him down to the ground and punching him in the face. Sonic knows that he's having a hard time beating Shadow, and thus he realizes he needs to do something quick. And the Sonic quickly do a powerful spin dash, throwing Shadow down to the stairs. However, Shadow teleports back out of there, grabs Sonic by his neck, and throws him to a wall, damaging him. Alongside this as well, Shadow decides to use opportunity to break the Master Emerald, as he needs all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds inside of them in order to power the Arc. And that's because the Shadow prepares a Chaos Sphere, ready to destroy it. However, Knuckles is waking up, asking Shadow what he's doing. Shadow ended up turning to him and saying, You really thought we were working with you, Echidna? Alongside this, Eggman, after getting a cheap shot on Tails, would fly by Shadow and saying, We were just using you in order to get the Emerald. And the Shadow uses the Chaos Sphere, thus destroying the Master Emerald, and the Chaos Emeralds go flying out of it, scattering all across the world. However, Shadow manages to grab one really quickly, that being the Green One. And the Shadow went up smiling, with him saying, Now we're talking. Knuckles, pissed off that both Shadow and Eggman trainer attempts to punch him in the face. However, Shadow pulls out the green Chaos Emerald and says, Chaos Control! Thus, this version of Chaos Control is much more powerful, essentially freezing time altogether, as Shadow appears behind Knuckles, and Roundhouse kicks him a couple times and Chaos Blast Knuckles, throwing him down to the ground. Alongside this, Shadow would decide to flood the place as well, removing rubble so the place could start flooding, and then Shadow would tell Eggman, Grab onto me. And thus, Eggman would grab onto Shadow, as Shadow would Chaos Control them out of there. Thus, Sonic and Tails managed to help Knuckles get out of there. Alongside this, they managed to get out of the water as well. Knuckles, Sonic, and Tails end up coughing. Knuckles and Sonic would go ahead and become red to this point, and Knuckles ended up realizing who the real bad guy is, with them apologizing to them. However, Sonic would saying, It's fine. Besides, we need to stop them. However, Knuckles would also go ahead and turn to the broken piece of the Master Emerald he managed to grab, and he would also manage to fix it, shocking Sonic. You fixed it. Yes, but we need to stop them. With those 7 Chaos Emeralds now across the world, who knows what they're trying to do? Do you think that one, the Master Emerald, could potentially stop them? I don't know, but all I know is we need to stop them. While that's happening as well, we see Shadow and Eggman. At this point in time, they manage to go ahead and find the white Chaos Emerald and the purple Chaos Emerald, and they meet on the space colony arc. Eggman went up talking to Shadow. So, Shadow, why did you want to meet here specifically? Well, I wanted to introduce you to one of your grandfather's greatest inventions, that being the Eclipse Cannon. Eggman will look in awe and amazement. Shadow will go into detail, explaining what the Eclipse Cannon is and how powerful it can be with all 7 Chaos Emeralds. And the Shadow goes ahead and puts in the 3 Chaos Emeralds. Shadow ends up telling him about that as well. Imagine what would be powerful with all 7. You could hold the world hostage and make them fall into your world. And if they don't, well, kablooey. Besides, there are other planets out there in the galaxy, so you can take them over as well. And thus you can spread your knowledge all over the universe just by having these 7 jewels in here. Eggman begins to laugh, even with him saying, I like your thinking, Shadow. Alongside this, Agent Stone would also end up meeting up with them as well. Eggman went up laughing as well, with him saying, all more advanced Batniks ready? Yes, sir. And also, is the E-Series ready? Yes, sir. E102 Beta and E102 Gamma should be done soon. Good. Eggman laughs evilly. Eggman would then turn to Shadow. Do you have a way we could potentially track them down? Unfortunately not. However, they seem to be scattered all across the world. After all, we found these 2, pointing to the white and purple emerald, at different points around the world. They have to be. And thus, I suggest we get looking for them, or perhaps sending your E-Series robots out to look for them. Good thinking, Shadow. However, before they continue, someone is catching their attention, that being Rouge the Bat, as she reveals to them the blue Chaos Emerald, shocking the 2 of them. Rouge explains how she's here to help, and how she has her own thing with humanity, and how she wants to help them out. And the Shadow, smiling evilly, saying, very well, Rouge. Welcome to the team. Yes. And the Shadow goes ahead and quickly puts the blue Chaos in there as well. Now having 4 Chaos Emeralds, the Shadow would then turn to Eggman with a suggestion. Doctor, I suggest we show the world the power that we have. Really now, a demonstration? Yes, and I know the perfect thing we can show people. We're not screwing around. As Shadow points to the moon. Eggman quickly realizes what Shadow wants to do, and he smiles safely with him, saying, very well then, Shadow. Let's show the world what we have on our side. From there, every TV screen in the entire world gets hacked by Eggman, as Eggman appears out with them saying, people of Earth, I am Dr. Eggman, the greatest scientist in the world, and soon to be the world's greatest ruler of the Eggman Empire. I'm here on the space colony arc with my Eclipse Cannon, and I've come to show you how powerful we are and to show you what we have on our side. We end up seeing Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Maddie, and Tom back at Green Hill, with the 5 of them discussing what the next plan of action is as they see this broadcast. Sonic ends up saying, what is he up to? Eggman continues, now, I've come here to show you the greatest empire in the world and to show you, like I said, the power that we have. Thanks in partially to the work of my grandfather, Jabber Robotnik, I've come here to show you the true power of the Eggman Empire. From there, Eggman ends up revealing the Eclipse Cannon, and he explains how he has 4 Chaos Emeralds inside of it, and the moon is going to be an example. And thus, Eggman fires a space colony at them. And from there, a full quarter of the moon is destroyed, shocking the entire world, including Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Maddie, and Tom, as they stare horrified alongside Commander Tower in a gun base, with him saying, I hope our agent can handle this. Eggman then laughs at them, saying, this is just a small demonstration of the Eclipse Cannon's power, as it only used 4 Chaos Emeralds. Imagine what would be possible with all the 7. Eggman laughs, with him then saying, to the leaders of Earth, you have 24 hours to surrender, as I know you're watching this. And if you don't, well, let the moon be an example of what's going to happen to Earth, especially once you get to all the 7 of our Chaos Emeralds, as I'm sending my E-Series robots down to Earth to look for them. I wish you all Good luck if you don't surrender. From there, the broadcast ends as Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Batty, and Tom stand there horrified, not sure of what their next course of action should be. I hope you all enjoyed part 1 of What If Shadow was in Sonic Movie 2. And make sure you guys go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what you thought of it. Again, huge shout out to Payton Anderson for suggesting this idea a while ago. Hope you're happy with this. And I'll see you all in the next one.